Well, good morning everybody. It's 10:05. We've got the usual bunged up nose that I always have. Can never ever shift that. But I've had about 3 cups of tea. I had a very good night sleep. I watched The Old Man last night. I don't know if anyone's seen that on Disney Plus, but it's with Jeff Bridges. I've seen the first 2 parts last night, and that was good. So if anyone's looking for something, there's not really any action in it, but it's interesting, then I can certainly recommend The Old Man on Disney. So like I said, I've had a couple of 3 cups of tea. I've got my porridge pretty much ready to go in there, so I'm going to start eating that in a minute. See, it's just gone 10. Sort of the half original plan was that we were going to think about 10 o'clock getting going, but I knew I was never ever going to be ready for 10, so I'm going to attempt to be ready-ish for 11. And that's probably rather hit and miss, but I've put nighttime stuff in there, but not sleeping bag and what I'm wearing, but there's just a few bits that I'm not using. I brought leggings with me, down leggings with me, and I bought, it's still the down legging, and I bought these PhD down booties, which you can kind of like wear in camp, but literally, you know, on your dry, only in your dry area. They don't have waterproof bottoms to them, so they're really mainly just if your feet are out or your feet are cold in your sleeping bag. Realistically, I don't think I need them, but I thought I'd bring them just to be on the safe side. I brought my trusted smart wool socks on this trip. I tend to always fall back on smart wool when I'm doing something, you know, a little bit more than just walking out to Dartmoor and camping and staying in one place. I've got spare gloves in there and leggings. So those are the leggings that I wore in the Lake District when it was raining all day long. So really they're kind of as a backup thing, that, you know, if it's hissing it down with rain in the morning when I set off, then I'm likely to put those on and pack my trousers. But other than that, I just keep them in there. It's kind of like a trial in running, that one. I've got hats and gloves in this packet here, so I kind of need to keep that fairly close to the surface of the pack, so if I suddenly need hat and gloves, then I've got that, you know, to hand there. That's my PhD down jacket, so again I need to keep that close-ish to the top, but I probably won't need it. I brought my Gore-Tex jacket with me. I nearly, and actually did bring it, but I left it in the car, my Paramo. But given that it's not really freezing, I just think the Paramo is going to be a little bit too warm. I find the Paramo is good when it's 5 degrees and below. And while we're hovering above that, we're like 7, 8, 9 degrees. Maybe on the top it'll be cold like that. But I just think that's going to be the better option. And I've got a fleece in there. And again, I'm going to keep this reasonably near the top, so if I start to cool off, then I can put that fleece under there for added warmth. And then basically I did bring very lazy last night, I did bring with me a merino base layer, like a long sleeve merino base layer. And really, I probably should have put that on last night and slept in that, but I was feeling too tired and lazy, so I just slept in what I was wearing last night, but that's fine, it's clean. So basically, I'll be starting off the walk today and yesterday with a merino base layer and a Paramo shirt. And then when we move around here, that's my Kestrel weather station, which will go in somewhere or other. That's basically food for now, 3 nights. Obviously I've had 1 night already, so there's enough, should be enough in there for 3 days or 3 nights. And then I've got snacky biscuit things in there, and again there should be enough for 3 nights. Those I'll put in a pack to carry. And then if I get to fly the drone, and it's kind of weather dependent and everything else like that, then I've brought that with me, and the drone and the remote control is in there. That just goes on the top. And then in this one I've got the batteries for the drone, I've got the batteries for the GoPro, and then the charging pack, as it were, for the DJI microphone in there. So again, that kind of needs to be fairly close to the surface. It's a bit tricky packing some of this because some of it needs to be quite near the surface. And then obviously I've just got crackers over there and Stilton in there, and then I've got a cheese somewhere else, wherever that is, I don't know. And then when we swing around this side, obviously we've got Lass's pack over there, we've got my porridge going on, I've got plenty of fuel for 4 nights if needed, and I think there's stacks there. I'm trying these 7 Seas Joint Care Max because my knees click, and my knees and joints muscles and everything, so I thought I would just try those, see whether they turn me into the Hulk or something. And then obviously I've got my sweeteners there, power packs in here for charging things up, so I've got a lot of power with me. And then obviously I'm using the GoPro Hero 11, and then I brought the Hero 10 with me kind of as a backup, and then if I want to do time lapse or something I can use that and it's not hogging another one, so we'll kind of see how that goes. And then my tea stuff rubbish, and I brought these Innovate Gore-Tex boots with me because I don't think we'll be wading big streams or anything, so I don't think they're likely to get flooded. And that's basically the kit and the look around. And obviously we've got the Trailstar with pacer poles, and that's our basic look around our camp. There's some rain forecast around about now, but it's not really come to anything, and there's heavy rain forecast for later, but only for an hour or so. So it will be interesting to see how that one pans out. And then I've switched back to my trusted Petzl head torch. I've kind of given up on that other one, so I've gone back to using that old Petzl, and I've got a spare battery for it as well. Anyway, I'm gonna have my porridge and I'll catch up later. Well, we've been walking through this forest through here. We did take one small wrong turn. We were chatting and not concentrating, so we added on about 1 kilometre, but we've been walking through this forest through here. Weather's looking, there's some rain forecast maybe for later on, but mostly it's dry at the moment. It's breezy. I think it's going to get quite windy when we head up into the Ghru, which is about another, the top of it is about 6-ish, get away from that, that tree, is about 6 kilometres to the top of the Ghru. So it's certainly going to be more walking than I've done for a very long time, so we will see how it goes.
Zigging and zagging on the wrong turn and down the other side for camp, 16 kilometres.
But apparently they've cut down a lot of the plantation trees here that were put in the 1960s, and they're letting the native trees here grow. So we stopped just here by this tree. We had a snack and some water, so we're going to be heading in that direction there. Well, we're just making ourselves along this path here, and for the first time since we were down by the river, you can see the river down there, and eventually the river will come up and join us. It's getting a little bit cooler now. I took my jumper off before I left camp, and I'm certainly glad I did. And I'm certainly warm enough with a base layer of shirt and this Gore-Tex jacket. And time will tell whether I need to put my jumper on later on or not. But we're heading through all this heather. It's like literally just wall to wall heather through here with the trees, with these new trees growing up here, which I believe are the native species. And not too much longer, although it seems like a very long way, we'll eventually come out of this forest. You can see the river right down there. Okay, well finally we're right next to some water where Lassie can have a bit of a splash and a play around. We've been coming up the valley here, the Lairig, Ghru. Les has found a nice deep rough bit there. So we're heading up in that direction, and then the path that we need is going to cross over and then go up the other side up there. It's getting a little bit breezier, but not too bad. It's not too cold at the moment. We're still managing with without gloves. Okay, well we're slowly making our way up the Ghru in this direction, but I just wanted to show you down through the valley here. You can see that it's mostly boulders down through here, and you get very small pockets of water, and then it just goes underground, and then a bit further down you get another pocket of water, you know, just below. So we've just got one of those little areas of water just down there. So I don't think we're too far from the top, maybe another kilometre or something, but we're making our way up there. Looks like most of the Ghru is below the cloud and mist. Okay, well we're walking along the kind of the top of, but not quite the top of Ghru. We've still got about a kilometre to go to get to the top. But in elevation gain, as you can see, it's a relatively gentle ascent. I can't remember where we started. It was probably about 400 meters, and we're having to get up to 800 meters. And Ben McDewey, which is, I think, maybe I'm not sure, but maybe the second highest mountain in Scotland or in the United Kingdom, is kind of ahead and on the left, and that's at I think about 1,300 odd meters. We've got a little pool here. We've walked about 10 kilometers so far, and there's at least another 2 or 3 until we get into camp. And like I said, we did take a ride. We were talking and not concentrating, so I think we probably added maybe a couple of kilometers and had to turn around and come back. So we've added a little bit, but we're making good progress. But this is certainly further than I've walked in a very, very long time. So, and then we got to make our way back tomorrow and the next day. There's another little pool there. Get my legs going. My legs are getting a bit tired now. Ow! Ooh. Go on, let's see. Well, in that instance, my left ankle turned a bit. You see, this is why when I'm wearing trail shoes, I will only wear 0 drop flat shoes. And then obviously now I've got these Innovate boots on, so that did just help. I don't think it gives ankle support as such, but I think it does just help the ankle a tiny bit, because I'm pretty sure if I was in a shoe on that little twist, I think I would have felt that, knowing my ankles. So I must admit, I'm a big fan of either 0 drop shoes as flat to the ground as possible, or these lightweight Innovate boots. These are waterproof. This has got a Gore-Tex liner in them, but I must admit, I am getting I will definitely be glad when we finally make camp later. I think the most I've walked in a day, shamefully, but that's how it is about 6 kilometers in the lakes that time, and that was after a 5 kilometer walk and a 4 kilometer walk. The rest of this trip's going to be fun. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. Luckily, apparently there is a boulder field up ahead, but apparently it's not too long, thankfully, and this path is relatively easy going. The Garmin is saying that we're going at about 2.4. It was showing 2.3, but then when I looked just now, it was showing 2.4 kilometers an hour average speed. Now, we did stop for not tea, but we did stop for lunch, which was quite a long I don't think we actually intended to stop for an hour, but it turned out we didn't even have tea or anything. It just turned into an hour. So I must admit, I'm not quite sure whether the average speed includes stopping. I think it might do, actually, because I'm pretty sure on Garmin you can have an average speed, presumably of the track, including stopping, and I think you can also have an average moving speed. I might actually have to have a look in the menu and fish those out, because I've got average movings. I've got one of them. I think maybe I need to find the other one. Anyway, we're gonna keep going along here. Jesus. This is getting really quite tough now. I must admit, I really will be glad when we stop. But my guess is, it's about 4:30. My guess is we've got at least another hour to go. Jeez, my guess. It's dark in 2 hours, so I'm pretty sure we'll get there before dark. Anyway, I'm gonna concentrate on walking. The legs. I've got to try and keep telling the legs to go forward. Okay, well, this is pretty much the top here, about 830 meters up here. We've got this pile of stones here. We did pass one chap just down there, pitching his tent at the top of the valley down there. But we're gonna follow this path across a boulder field or three, and then down into camp. It's coming up to 5 o'clock, so we better get cracking because we've still got a couple of kilometers to go, I guess. Well, we're just, I'm gonna try and keep walking because time's ticking on a bit. So it's 5:15. Got about an hour before sunset, so we need to be looking for somewhere to camp in a minute. Hopefully. Not too far. So that's the second big pool of D. Ooh. So it's been mostly good going. It's been a couple of boulder fields to cross. Occasionally we've lost the path. Well, Chris hasn't lost the path. Chris hasn't lost the path. I've lost the path a couple of times, and I probably have this kind of habit of looking where my feet are going, and because I spend so much time looking down, I'm probably not concentrating where the path is going, although sometimes the path does kind of disappear. Am I right in thinking the path is going up there? I don't really see where else it's going on this occasion. A path, yes. Do you think this one has less boulders to cross? Maybe. Right, yeah, yeah. We'll see on the other side. Not literally the other side. It's not very easy. Yeah. No. Oop.
Whoop. Oh, some of the stones are not exactly steady. That one got my left foot. I'm not sure there's less boulders this way than that way. Actually, if you go up around there, then we might actually go above them. I think, given we're already quite high.
Yeah, a few more people.
we'll go an extra couple of meters and go around them. Okay. All right. Well, I was going to turn the camera off, but actually the going has got to marginally better. Just got to be a little bit careful though, because there could be a hole. There's a hole in my bucket. Dear Liza, dear Liza. Okay, I'm going to turn this off.
This footage is from the next day, but it gives me a chance to talk. When I turned the camera off, it was around about 5:30, and I said to Chris, let's go around the boulder field. That actually took us a little bit too high, and we had to clamber down the other side, which probably added a bit of time, but then equally we may have saved the time going around, just trying to get over that boulder field, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Once we got to the other side, it was just, there was nowhere to camp, so we carried on walking down probably for upwards of an hour, and it was dark when we finally decided that we would have to come off the path, which was probably around about 7:15, and we walked down, and we had a heck of a job finding camp. Check back for the next part when I am in camp the next morning. I do apologize, I didn't record any more on this particular day. I was just absolutely exhausted and shattered. It was about 16 kilometers, which I've done in the past easily, but this just finished me off this trip. Thank you very much for watching. Please do make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I will see you in the next one.